The GOAT blocks is larger than a city block. It is multiple buildings with multiple commercial spaces, restaurant, stores, entertainment, and of course, it is primarily an apartment complex.
So the GOAT Blocks project was a domestic water coupling replacement project. And the domestic water system has many types of plumbing components or plumbing products, but on the larger infrastructure of the domestic water system, the main piping is connected with mechanical couplings. So locations for the couplings were in many different areas throughout the property. Some of the areas were in commercial spaces, some of them were in the corridors, some of them were in parking garages.
Our approach at the GOAT blocks was to go in and attack this with a single shutdown. The shutdowns take anywhere from 2 to 8 hours just to drain the building down. So early on when we started doing this work, we were asked to come up with a quantity of how many shutdowns it would take to replace couplings in a vertical building. We took the approach and looked at it completely different than any other mechanical contractor did. And the reason we did that is because there's so much wasted time where we're really just standing around watching the building drain. But in the same token, if you have a window of roughly 48 hours to do a shutdown, and 8 hours of that's taken with draining down, and on the backside you have to allow for 8 hours taking it back up, you're left with 32 hours of working time.
The project is a plumbing-driven project. There's a lot of people to interact with. There are tenants, sometimes in their specific unit.
So the idea behind doing like a 24-hour shutdown is like, what is the easiest way for us to create the least amount of impact to these tenants and residents, as well as the building itself. The decision to do it in that short time period, that was 100% the right decision to make.
As we mentioned, there's a lot of commercial tenants down on the ground floor. So really it was about minimizing the impact on those tenants. We worked in a bank where the couplings were actually traversing through the bank vault. And so we had to take and open up the wall of the vault, which had a multi-layer wall assembly that had to be opened and closed back up that same weekend. So as the plumbers were starting to drain down the system, we were actually opening up that vault wall. Some of the other areas that were really challenging were in the residential hallways, really tight spaces up in those ceilings with all the electrical and fire sprinkler piping and mechanical piping up there.
We had one at the garage level on the south building that took a crew of 4 pretty talented craftspeople almost the entire 8 hours to replace.
So one of the things I think led to the success of this project is all the planning up ahead between J.H. Kelly and Charter Construction. Countless phone calls and meetings at the office, going over the plans, the coupling counts, and the endless list of action items. A week before the project, we had everybody come on site. We did a walkthrough of all the locations. J.H. Kelly made a map of the project and actually broke it into each team had a number and a number of couplings on the map and on site so that they knew what they were getting into.
Being involved in this project was super exciting for me. I think it couldn't have gone any better than it did.
This job was one of my largest shutdowns that I was able to take on. To see it succeed as good as it did is a big monument in my life and my career.
You would expect there to be some difficulties. You would expect there to be some obstacles. You would expect there to be some challenges. It wouldn't be a construction project if there wasn't.
The collaboration on site is phenomenal. It's great to see all that come together and being on site with everybody to put that plan into action that we talked about and exceeding the client's expectations and having a happy client at the end of the project. It doesn't get much better than that.
This project was a huge success. Beat our own goal by roughly an hour of what we intended to have the building shut down. And we were able to get things online sooner for the client at the end of the day, which is always a positive. And the biggest thing is we had no water on the ground.